Hello, I'm Willie Stevens.
And I'm Brandy Stevens.
And welcome to the Journey of Us podcast.
And welcome to Journey of Us, Season 2, Episode 3, where we discuss what not to say to your partner.
That's a long list of things, huh?
I guess depending on the person. I guess. Interesting. So we'll start this one with story time. Y'all ready? So picture, I don't know, maybe 15 years ago, maybe less.
As of now, we've been married for 17 years, so it was probably the first year.
Well, I know exactly where we were. We were still living in Sherwood Acres, and then I'm gonna tell my version, and then he's gonna tell his version. We were in Walmart, the neighborhood Walmart.
Yes.
I had my son, and then we were together shopping. And so I don't even know what I said to the nice lady, but we were talking mom to mom or whatever, and I said something to the effect of, I have 2 children. And so referring to my husband as the second child. And so I think we just kind of went on with the conversation and left the store. That's what I remember.
Yeah.
So what is your version in the store?
Well, I was fuming inside because I think what it was more so for me is that I was, I guess, trying to play with our son, and then you said, "Oh, I have 2 kids, 2 children," and I didn't like that.
Yeah.
And so everything else is a blur after that.
Yeah.
Because all I heard is that you are calling somebody that you're supposed to be married to a child.
Yeah.
And how could you call me a child and you be with me?
Yeah.
And I had an issue with that, big issue.
Yeah, so I just some background. I had heard people say that before.
And I've heard it too.
Other women, just refer to their husband as the additional child, whether it be because she has to nurture and care for him, she has to clean up after him, whatever her reasoning was. I've heard women say that. And so I felt like it was okay to say, but
not with me.
Not with him. So we finished our shopping or whatever. I don't know if you addressed me in the car. Do you remember? I don't know if it was in the car or if it was at home.
I'm sure I didn't do it in front of Trey, and so I'm sure it had to be at home when we were together.
Yeah.
I may have been looking like I was upset.
I don't know. I just know that I think I felt like something was off. And I guess if we were at home, you told me like how you felt about it. And I knew from the tone, I knew from, the words that you use. I don't remember verbatim what you said, but I knew, don't say that no more. I'm not your child, is what I gleaned from the conversation.
That's what I said.
The conversation. And I have never said it again, only when telling this story.
Yeah. This episode is brought to you by the Stevens Injury Law Firm. If you've been injured in an accident, you don't have to handle it alone. The Stevens Injury Law Firm is here to protect your rights and help you get the compensation you deserve. If you've been injured, contact the Stevens Injury Law Firm today.
Because I didn't realize just how probably emasculating it was.
It was.
Yeah.
It was very emasculating. And there's, like I said, there are certain things that you can't come back from. I'm grateful that was not one of those things.
Yeah.
And I was open to actually to understand that, you didn't mean anything by it. But I just know there's a lot of guys, especially when I talk to guys, we're in barbershops, we're in different places, and we talk. When they say certain things, I'm like, oh, you shouldn't have said that. Because, I understand that certain things, it shuts the relationship down. You have to start over.
And start over with a new person?
Yes, you have to.
So here's the thing, though. Like, you don't know you've crossed the boundary until you cross the boundary.
Oh, you're right.
So
and then better luck next time.
Yeah.
That's all I can say. Better luck next time. We all go through things where we actually learn from this thing that happened, and I'll be better for it the next time.
Yeah.
Because there's certain things you just cannot say. You cannot emasculate a man, especially in public. It's one thing if you do it and you can almost hide it from the public, and you can do it in the privacy of your own home and nobody else has actually seen you do that. It's something totally different. Now I have to explain this to the world,
Yeah.
why she talks to me like this, why she treats me like this. And even if I was willing to let it go, I can't let it go now because now my boys have seen you do this to me.
Yeah.
And now every time I see them,
They gonna bring it up.
they got to bring this up.
I was thinking too, one thing that I thought about this last night as we were preparing for this. I thought about just how gracious you were, because you could have embarrassed me in front of that nice lady in that store. You know what I'm saying? Like you
Yeah.
could have corrected me right then and there. Like, you don't say I'm not your son. Don't talk to me this,
And I've seen people do that, but I've never been that type of person.
that was my thing. I'm like you could have done that, but you chose not to. And then at least you chose to open up to me and tell me about it. You could have shut down
Yeah.
and, mentally just kind of left the relationship. So
Because I will say that when you're dealing with any type of relationship, if you've ever had a relationship before, it's natural that you're comparing and contrasting them.
yeah,
And so
Yeah.
the other woman didn't talk to me like that.
yeah,
She was grateful to be with somebody like me. I was all she wanted, but I chose you. Those are the type of things that goes through a person's head. And so I have to make a determination on whether or not this is worth it for me to stay when you say certain things, because now I feel as if you don't respect me. And if you don't respect me, how can I be with you? How can I give you my all? Because when I am looking at being in a relationship with someone, I want to make sure that I give them my all, and I want to treat her like a Greek goddess or whatever you want to call it,
Yeah.
and I want to feel comfortable enough to do so. And I want to be able to feel that the person that I am with, I'm willing to do anything for that person. And I cannot feel as if I'm willing to do anything for a particular person that I feel as if I cannot trust, or that does not respect me. I can't do it.
yeah. You think most men feel that way?
Of course. Of course.
I guess my thing when it comes to it is, I guess, determining, like I said earlier, sometimes you don't know you've crossed the boundary until you cross the boundary. So is it a matter of when you're dating, during that exploration phase, kind of, okay, this is off limits. Don't talk, don't say this, don't say that. Because we bring in, like you said, things from our previous relationships. We bring in communication styles and things that we've said in our, from our upbringing. So we bring that in as normal, and we think it's normal. We may not think it's okay, but it's just our normal. It's our default. And so it's hard to kind of unlearn that. So do you just sit down and check the boxes and say, you can't talk about my mama, you can't talk about my cousin, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or do you kind of let things unfold? But I guess it's a combination of both, because it's been a combination of both of us.
Yes, and that's what I was going to say. I know with us, we talked about certain things that we like, what we did not like, and all that before we got married. However, some things you won't know until you go through those things, and you don't know how those things are going to hit you.
Yes.
Because I can say certain things today, and I tell you this is how I feel today, but tomorrow, based on some other things that has happened in my life, you can't say that again. That's something else. Now that's become off limits because of my experiences. And so it's really more so about knowing the person and then understand, okay, I just hit something. Let's fix this.
What are the indicators? You just kind of look at body language. You think
Men
that's what
shut
I
down.
do. Yeah, you
Men
can
will
almost
shut down.
visibly see it.
Yeah, you can't hide it. Even the way we breathe is going to change, because now I'm so hot that I'm trying to not breathe a certain way because I don't want everybody else to know how frustrated that I am. And so you can tell by those indications, the way he looks at you. when you said something that he feels as if it's too far, it's a low blow, there's a look, a disconnect that you can feel, because I feel it when I say something nowadays. I don't know if we're going to talk about this, our story on this one, but there is a feeling when I say certain things that I know, okay, well, now I've gone too far. So maybe I'm too hot to fix it right then, but I understand, okay, it has to be fixed. And you have to be able to have that level of discernment.
And I guess it's knowing and understanding your partner and seeing those indicators. And so for me, I want women, I think in most cases, we want to address it now and talk about it now and fix it now. And sometimes men, they may need time to process. So isn't it an immediate, like when you see that visibly, like, I done went too far. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say it in that way, or that came out wrong, or I won't say that again. So it's an immediate apology, but I know how you feel about apologies.
Yeah, I don't believe in apologies. But I feel like it's both. It's really based on the situation, because I know that we've gone walking and exercise together, and then I may have said something and I didn't mean anything by it, but I know how it came off was wrong, and I know how it was going to make you feel, and so I would immediately say, I didn't mean it that way, I apologize, how it came out and all that type of stuff. However, when there are more serious things, sometimes when it hits wrong like that, you just need some time. And guys are not ready to talk about things immediately when when it's more serious than just the flip of the tongue. And I may have told you to do something and you telling me not to tell you what to do, that type of stuff. I apologize, I didn't mean to tell you what to do with it, and I can clean it up real quick right then. However, when you're talking about things that are more, I guess, more impactful, then sometimes, especially when both sides are upset, then it takes some time to I think you need to take some time to just take time to breathe and think this thing through first, and then talk about it when you have an opportunity, I guess, to let cooler heads prevail.
Okay, so here's a question. I know I was taught, and even us going through marriage counseling, they teach us, don't go to bed angry.
Marriage counseling.
Yeah, my uncle, we did marriage counseling.
Oh, yeah.
You forgot?
20 years ago.
But you're taught not to go to bed angry, or you're taught don't let the sun go down on your wrath. So this episode is brought to you by Tribute Salon, where we help everyone embrace and enjoy their hair. At Tribute Salon, we specialize in nurturing your natural hair with care and expertise. Schedule your next appointment and experience the Tribute difference. What are your thoughts as it relates to that when you said let cooler heads prevail? Because I'm going to be honest, there have been times where the sun has gone down for us.
Yeah.
And the sun came up and went back down.
Yeah.
So, what are your thoughts?
I think ideally, yes, that's the way it should be.
Yeah.
However, that's not realistic. In most cases, I try to make sure that, especially as we've gotten older, we're in our 40s now. And I know a lot of people that I know didn't make it this far. Mm-hmm. And so I try to make sure that I guess I handle things that particular day, because I feel as if what happens if we go to sleep and don't wake up?
Yeah.
Will we regret not saying or not putting a bow or fixing this particular issue? And so I try to make sure that even if I have to push myself, I don't go into a second day. I know, there's been situations where, of course, we've gone into a second day and maybe even a third day.
Yeah.
But I think, those were, isolated incidents, and, it's not going to be, those are not things that happens a lot with us.
And so that was going to be my thing too. I know we kind of talk about, we talked about not letting the sun go down, but I'm a slower processor, which I'm been doing a lot of work. I'm in therapy, y'all, to kind of figure out how to address my needs sooner versus letting so many days pass. I find that I want to make sure that I find the right words. And that's what takes me so long to address whatever my issue is, but it just needs to be addressed. But how do you kind of determine at some point if we need to push through to keep trying to resolve this, or if it's time to just take a break and, we'll figure this out later?
Well, I think it's more so when you get to an impasse,
Yeah.
when there's no progress being made,
Yeah.
when there's only two sides rehashing their frustrations,
Yeah.
then it's time for you to take the time and take a breather on that.
Yeah.
Because, all that's going to do is make you become more and more upset.
Mm-hmm.
And when you become more and more upset, you're much more liable to say things that you can't come back from.
Yeah.
And so is the relationship worth you saying what you have to say right now? Or is it worth you taking the time, taking a breather, and trying to come back with a cooler head?
Yeah. And you know what I think what happens is a lot of times, because we were talking about things you just cannot say.
Mm-hmm.
As you stated, like that stuff comes up when you're mad, when you're hot.
Yes. And your filter is not the same
Yes.
level of thickness as it would be if you.
It's paper thin.
Yes. If you had a cooler head.
Mm-hmm.
So you just say what you feel, and the hell with the tact.
Yeah.
And that's the problem.
Yeah. Yeah. When you get to that point, it's too far gone.
Mm-hmm.
So it is necessary to sometimes take a little breather. One thing that I've learned, and this is a journey, and I have not done this my entire marriage, but what I try to do after much learning and reading is that understand that you're not my enemy.
Yeah.
You're not the problem. If I focus on the problem, which is this differences of opinion, this feeling that I have, that's the issue at hand, not you. It may have been something related to something you did or whatever, but you're not my enemy. And so if I don't view you as my enemy, then I'm not going to attack you. And I think that stuff comes from personal attacks. You mad and you frustrated. And so you feel like, oh, I need to defend myself. And we go straight below the belt. And so I constantly remind myself, like, I really do love this man. And so even though I'm hurt, I'm disappointed, I'm upset for whatever reason, I still love him.
Yeah.
And so I can still communicate my feelings and love him at the same time.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and I learned pretty much the same thing, because there are certain situations where people that are in relationships, they feel as if I just got to get this out and I got to get it out right now.
Yeah.
But I think I've never really been that type that feels as if I cannot go another minute without saying exactly what I feel, because, especially playing sports, you learn people like that'll get you penalized. They'll get you behind the sticks because they have to express themselves. They have to push back. They have to fight on the field. They have to do all these type of things. And so I never wanted to cost my team by doing something like that. And so I have to even deal with it now when we're talking about court. When I go to court and I am presenting my motions, presenting my arguments to judges, a lot of times the judges may say something that I don't like, but I cannot express my frustration with the judge because I understand that can negatively impact my client. Mm-hmm. And so it's important that, I guess I had a refresher course on that type of response when I'm in court, because I see it all the time. And I see how, it's just natural that people that are in positions of authority sometimes push the envelope.
Yeah.
And they feel as if they are in power and they are empowered to do and say what they want to say. Yeah. And so what am I going to do? Am I going to say the hell with it all? I'm going to give it all. Whatever happens, happens.
Just gotta say this.
Yeah. Or am I going to say, okay, well, I'll express myself when I get in my car. I'll say exactly what I was going to say to him when I get in my car and get alone. I'll tell my wife exactly what
Yeah.
he did and express myself and say what I wanted to say or what I should have said. And so it's just important to know when to stop sometimes.
Yeah. And I think to remember, like, we on the same team.
Yeah. Yeah, we are.
Yeah. That's the thing.
Yeah.
I chose you as my life partner. And so we're on the same team. So I don't need to be fighting you. But we do have disagreements and
do.
we do have differences of opinion because we're different people. And
And you don't want you.
true.
Because, you know, if there's two of me, then I can only go so far. But when I have another person that is strong where I am weak, it makes it easier because now it puts together a package.
Yeah.
And now we can multiply our talents and we can become what we, I guess, are setting off to be.
Yeah.
But when it's just a yes person, or if you got a person that does not bring anything different, no versatility, then you know you're limited on your ability to progress.
Yeah. Yeah. I get it. So just understanding we're on the same team.
Yeah.
Right?
Ultimately, yeah.
And I don't always have to be right.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think that's something to consider too when, you know, communicating things that are on or off limits, because there are times when you're in the midst of conflict that I feel like I'm right.
Yeah.
And according to my recollection, I know I'm right.
Yeah.
And you and I have become a lot of impasses over the years. And you like, no, I know. And it's like, well, wait a minute, somebody wrong.
Yeah.
You know, but does it have to be you're right and I'm wrong? You're wrong and I'm right? Can we just
Sometimes it has to be, because 2 + 2 is 4 all the time, you know. And so I understand that the sentiment behind what you're saying, you know, because we can be right
in principle or
Yes.
in fact or whatever you want to call it?
Yeah, but you know, I do understand that part of it. But my thing is always, is it worth me being right versus me being happy?
That's my thing. You want to be right or you want to be married?
Yeah. Because in most cases you can't have both, because both of you all have experiences.
Yeah.
And you know, sometimes going one road and going another road will still get you to the same place.
Yeah.
So the question becomes is whether or not are you willing to take the other person's route? Are you willing to step back and say, okay, well, I understand. And let's just take, you know, because marriage is a lot of that.
Yeah. You do have to, you say,
Taking
I
one
understand.
for the team. Yeah.
You have to say, because we are a team.
Yeah.
You have to say, I understand a lot. But I just thinking about the legal field, you can have 5 people that witness the exact same sequence of events, but their perspectives are going to be different because their histories, their recollections, what they've experienced in life, everything is different for each person. So they're looking at it in a different lens. So when it comes to rehashing, you know, sometimes there is no right and wrong.
Thank you for tuning in today.
Catch us next time as we discuss expectations and communication. Be sure to like and subscribe so we see you next time on
The Journey of Us.